Okay, turn it off. That's all we can afford.
What's going on, you guys? Steve here. Right off the top, I just want to apologize to you guys. Ever since I started YouTube, I've been on a very faithful weekly schedule. I've been having some really serious computer issues lately, and yeah, I just haven't been able to create the production content and a lot of the videos that I did have planned. Serum 2 just dropped, and I had a bunch of tutorials and videos planned for that. I can't even access my Ableton right now. I've still been active on socials and uploading shorts, but yeah, as far as the long form content like this goes, I had a little hiccup, but I'm working on it. That being said, I'm actually really excited for this video today. Let's talk about the biggest trend in DJing right now: pop-up events in abstract places. I've seen DJs throwing down in laundromats, coffee shops, moving vehicles, studio apartments, front porches, elevators, literally anywhere but a nightclub. Let me just be very clear out the gate. I love it. I love seeing creators doing it on their own terms and not waiting for the industry to tell them they can have careers. I think it's amazing. I don't want people jumping in the comments saying, "Oh, you're hating." No, I think it's fantastic, and that's why we're covering it. I don't necessarily want to speak about pop-ups themselves and like breaking them down. They're pretty straightforward. You're just DJing in a spot that's not a nightclub. I more so want to speak on the reasons why I think they're becoming so common, and in some regards why they're performing better than conventional nightclubs and events. So how did coffee shop parties replace nightclubs? Music cafes, also known as hi-fi listening bars, have been around for a long time. They actually date back over 100 years, originating in Japan. Initially, they were created for jazz enthusiasts to come and hear records through high-end sound systems. Music cafes have become really trendy in America recently for their low-key vibes and those mid-century aesthetics. Pop-up parties seemingly came out of nowhere after the pandemic, but I think this is something that's been brewing for a while now. Frankly, I think this was bound to happen, and there's a few reasons why. First is the decline of nightlife. It's well documented that people aren't satisfied with the current state of nightlife and concerts. Everything from overpriced drinks, cover charges, ticket prices. There's less people dancing and more people just scrolling on their phones, standing around, bottle service and section culture, creepy dudes, drunk knuckleheads, and objectively bad DJs. Traditional nightlife seems like it's been on the decline since the late 2000s, but some people may argue it's been on the decline before that. I can't confirm or deny that because I was a kid at the time. I did not exist in the 80s, and I was born in the 90s. But from what I've been told, the vibes are completely different. Ever since the late 2000s, nightlife has progressively become more casual with the rise of microbreweries and casual drinking spaces. Studies also report that Gen Z is less interested in going out and drinking. That's a big deal because 20-somethings are the target demo for these spaces. Another reason is too many DJs. Before you get triggered, hear me out. I'm not gatekeeping who can or can't be a DJ. Personally, I don't care. If you're curious about pursuing a DJ career or getting into the hobby and into the space, I have no problem with that. Once upon a time, I was that newcomer and that wide-eyed kid who had the passion and interest for it. And yeah, it kind of sucked in my local community having like a lot of the older vets kind of downplaying me and like trying to little bro me and keep me off to the side. So I get it. I'm not threatened by the existence of other DJs. I know people who are, and that's kind of crazy to me, but let's just be clear here. That's not what I'm saying. I've realized you have to over-explain things on YouTube. If you say you like the color red, there's always going to be some troll in the comments screaming how you hate blue because you didn't mention blue. So yeah, I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. Anyways, that being said, the market is flooded. This isn't my opinion. This isn't some conspiracy. It's not up for debate or negotiation. There are far too many DJs, objectively. There's literal stats on this. I made a video breaking down the DJ population in America. Go check that out. I'll link that one below. There's over 10 times more DJs in America than there are nightclubs and conventional places to play. In that video, I also said that the overpopulation has led to DJs creating their own platforms and making their own events, turning to social media and content creation. Coffee shop pop-ups and a lot of these other events that we're seeing on social media are said platforms. Another reason is clicky social media and sales-driven nightclubs. Do I think a lot of DJs put on a lot of these DIY events because they want to build community and be creative? Sure. Realistically, I think they're doing it out of necessity. The truth is the pandemic punched the music industry in the nose. Everyone started conflating sales, talent, and people showing up to events with having a lot of followers. Before the pandemic, if you had ability and some experience, most places would give you a chance. Nowadays, not so much. I hate to say it, but music isn't about music anymore. It's become this rat race for virality. Unfortunately, this standard disqualifies a lot of local musicians by default. The average musician can't pull a line of fans and people supporting them all the way across town. On top of that, a lot of these clubs and venues are super clicky. That's not my opinion. That's not a conspiracy. This is factual. Anybody who denies that or tries to argue that is in on it. Period. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you have to say. It is a fact. The music industry is not 100% about talent and being nice and merit and just working hard. Connections in music matter objectively more than they should. It's pretty commonplace to get rejected in music just because you're not childhood friends with the booking guy. Musicians got tired of this, and they figured it out for themselves. I know a few people personally who've created their own pop-up events and platforms. Danielle Stacy is an artist that I've worked with. She was on the most recent season of The Voice. She's also the creator of Lower Deck Sessions. It's an event series to highlight local musicians. I believe it's actually hosted out of her backyard. There's also Steve Cardigan, the creator of Put You On. He's hosted a few coffee shop pop-ups, and I believe Side Piece headlined one of them. Long story short, it seems like conventional spaces have snubbed so many musicians to the point where they've created competition rather than community. The concept of a pop-up event makes a lot of sense when you think about it. DJs want a DJ, and these local businesses want more customers. It's mutually beneficial and so unique that it just naturally garners a lot of attention. Do I think that nightclubs are going to go extinct? No. A lot of people drag it and say, oh, nightclubs are falling off and the industry is tanking. Yeah, to a degree. But I don't think they're just going to go completely out of style. I just think that nightclubs are kind of losing that power and that monopoly that they've had when it comes to booking musicians. For well over a decade now, these nightclubs have been in the driver's seat, dictating who's booked, who's not, who's playing, who has a career, who doesn't. On top of that, the pay rate at a lot of these venues has been progressively tanking. Again, I think a lot of these pop-up events and these local platforms are amazing. By musicians creating their own platforms, it gives them their own agency and leverage to live on their own terms. Just like I said in the video about are there too many DJs, I still believe that we're going to see a lot of these local collectives and these pop-up events grow. And the reason for that is really simple. They're low-key, they're fun, they're different, they're cheaper for the people to attend, and they're also cheaper to put on and host. You don't have these crazy expectations of filling an arena or a stadium or a big concert venue. You don't have that pressure of needing to sell 100 bottles of Casamigos just to DJ at 8 p.m. It's just all around a better deal. I think the real question is, how will the nightclubs respond in the coming years? Will nightclubs continue to book based on social media and alienate the locals? Will nightclubs see the popularity of these pop-up events and start looking towards local talent again? Or will we see these nightclubs emulating pop-up events with their own in-house crews? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. I think this shift within the culture is really interesting. We're just moving in like this unknown territory when it comes to being musicians right now. I think there's just a lot of moving parts and a lot of unknown variables. When it comes to this specifically, I think this is good for the creators. That's all I've got for this one. As always, I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one.